Hello there and welcome back. So in this video we are going to explore various different shape tools within a Figma. So when you open up this third drop down from the left side, you're going to see multiple different shapes that we can use within the Figma. Now first let's start with a rectangle. So the shortcut for a rectangle is R key on your keyboard. So let's choose the rectangle first. And here as you can see, as soon as we select that rectangle, we can just click and drag this rectangle to create the new shape. Now since the default color of our rectangle is this color, we can now try and change that color here within this fill color. There you go, for example this one. So as soon as you select this rectangle on this design panel on the right side, you're going to see all different kind of properties that we can modify for this specific shape. Now we have talked about all those different kind of properties in some of the previous videos. As you can see, we can change the position, dimension, fill color, we can add a stroke, we can change some effects, and we can even export this as well. So now what I want to show you here is how you can actually scale this rectangle. So by default, as you can see, we can use this move tool to actually scale this actual shape. There is also a shortcut which is shift. So if you hold down the shift while you're dragging this shape, then you will be able to increase or decrease its size proportionally, right? There is one more shortcut when you hold down Control and Alt. So if you hold down those two keys on your keyboard, then you will be able to increase and decrease the size of this shape from its actual center, okay? As you can see, we are increasing and decreasing its size just from the center of that shape. What we can also do, we can just use shortcut Alt. So if you hold down the Alt and drag this on the left or on the right side, then you will be able to increase both of those sides, okay? So just hold down the Alt and you will be able to increase both of those sides. We can do the same thing with the top and the bottom. So if we hold down Alt while increasing the size on the bottom or on the top, then both of those sides will be increased automatically, okay? So that's also one very useful shortcut that you will use a lot in your projects. And the last thing that I want to show you about those actual rectangles, or basically any other shape, is that you can actually rotate that element all from the canvas. So when you move your cursor in one of those corners of your rectangular shape, you can just click and drag and basically rotate that shape around. You can also use a shortcut shift. So if you hold down the shift, then you will be able to target a specific angle, okay? As you can see now, I'm holding down the shift and I'm just moving this shape around. There you go. Alright, so next let's now just select this element and press the delete button. The next shape tool is Align tool, so the shortcut is L key on your keyboard. And with the Align tool we can create basically just simple lines on the canvas. As you can see, now I have created here one simple line. We can select that now with the Move tool, and from here we have different options to change the stroke color, the stroke options, and other different properties. So now I'm going to show you. Here with this, as you can see, we can increase the actual width or the stroke width of our line. There we go. Down below we have two options, start point and end point. So the start point is on the left side of our line, and here we can select what kind of a line end or a start we want to have for this line. So at the moment this none option is selected, however we can change that to a line arrow, and this is what kind of a result we're going to get. So on our start line or start point of our line, we will see this arrow. As you can see, we can also change the end line to be also this arrow as well. We have some other different options like this triangle arrow, reversed triangle, and so on and so on. We also have this round corner shape. As you can see now, the end of our line is rounded. We can also do the same thing or even a different, for example, square on the start point of our line. So here we have a square, and here we have this round end of our line. Next, here we have also a couple of different options which we can use with our line. So if you click this three dots image, we can open up the advanced settings for the stroke, and here we can choose between a solid and a dash style of our actual line. As you can see, we can also even create some our own custom dash style. As you can see here, we can change those values. So we have 4 different values that we can change with our custom stroke style. In this case, I'm going to just go and choose a dash. So there you go. It's a simple dash line. Down below, we can choose the actual dash cap. So we have a square, we have a round, and we have a none. There you go. We can choose a round. It looks like a sausage. Okay. Let me just see what we have here also. So we can choose this join and meter angle. So there are different kind of join options here, like a meter, bevel, and a round. And that's pretty much it about those actual lines and its options. Also, you can use those similar shortcuts that I have shown you in the previous example with a rectangle. So if you hold down the shift while you're moving this actual line, then you will be able to actually target a specific angle for this rotation, okay? As you can see, now we are at the 0 rotation angle. Now we are at the 45 degree, so 90 degree, 135, minus 180, and so on and so on. There we go. All right, now let's remove this line. The next shape tool here is the arrow. So the arrow is basically the same as with our line tool. So in this case, we're going to create a line where this end point will actually be an arrow. So it's just the same thing as with our line. We can now remove that. Next, we have here this ellipse tool or ellipse shape, which has a shortcut of O on our keyboard. With this, we can create an ellipse tool, as you can see, or we can just hold down the shift to create a perfect circle, or basically increase its size or decrease its size proportionally. There you go. So that's how it works. We can, of course, check out all other different properties, which are almost the same as with the rectangular shape. So we have fill, stroke, effects, and export categories down below. We can change its rotation angle, width, height, and so on. We can delete now that. Next here we have a polygon tool, and with a polygon we can create this triangle. So as you can see, that's how it actually looks like. Now with a polygon we have one more additional option here, which says a count, and with this count we can increase the actual angles of this shape. Okay, as you can see now, whenever I click here, I can increase the angles of this polygon to as much as I want. I think that the maximum value here is actually 30. Let me just now reduce that to maybe 4. Here, as you can see, whenever I hover over on one of those angles or on this top angle of our polygon, we can also click and just drag to reduce or increase this actual radius level on each and every corner. Here we have an option for a corner smoothing. So as you can see, we can increase that as much as we want. I'm going to now zoom in here so I can show you what kind of a result we're going to get whenever we move this handle. So that's the smoothing which we're going to get whenever we change this option. There you go. Alright, now we can remove this polygon as well. But before that, let me just here actually set this count to maybe 3. So as you can see, whenever we select this actual polygon, we're going to see that down below this polygon we have some more space which we cannot actually decrease, right? And to fix that, there is also an option. So you can just select this polygon, right click, and click this option that says flatten. So with a Control E shortcut, we can flatten this actual shape. And now whenever we select that shape, we are no longer going to see that actual bounding box outside of the shape which we have on our screen. Okay, and now that bounding box looks perfect with our shape. Okay, now let me just remove that shape as well. And finally here we have a star shape tool as well. Now this place image tool will be covered in one separate video later in this course. For now, we're going to stick and focus only on those first 6 tools. So the last tool which I want to show you here is a star tool. So with the star tool, of course, we can create a star. We can hold down the shift to create a perfect star as well. There you go. We can also change the color here. And this star actually contains additional options in our properties or design tab. So here, not only that we can change the rotation angle and the corner radius, we can also change the count of our star. So for example, I can here specify less or even more than 5. As you can see, that's kind of shape which we're going to get if we increase this count size. And also here we have one additional option, which is a ratio. So here we can increase this ratio and our star can look or can have a different kind of look. As you can see, whenever we decrease this ratio, this is what kind of a shape we're going to get. However, when we increase that ratio, then our star will look more bulkier, right? So those are the two options that only a star tool actually contains. So count and ratio, there we go. And that's basically how the star tool actually works. We can of course also convert this star into a flatten mode, or we can flatten this actual shape by clicking this right click and then flatten. And now this bounding box will be around the edges of this actual shape. As you can see now, it looks much better. There we go. And that's pretty much it about those shape tools within the Figma. Of course, we are going to use those shape tools later in this course to create some more complex designs and examples. But for now, it is important that we have introduced with each one of those tools that are on our disposal. And for this video, that'll be all.